We begin at the ABC 7 Alert Center with breaking news. NMSU head coach Greg Heiar has been fired. It comes 4 days after hazing allegations came to light. We have complete team coverage. ABC 7's Lilo Betitiro is live in Las Cruces. She'll have the impact of the season cancellation on the school and fans. ABC 7 Sports Director Adrian Ochoa will report on how Heiar's path on his path to NMSU. But we begin with ABC 7 sports reporter Rachel Phillips. She is live outside the Pan American Center and has the details on the decision to fire Greg Heiar. Rachel.
Steph, I'm actually standing in Greg Heiar's parking spot here at the Pan American Center. And if I take a step out, you can actually see, if you look at this sign, that it still reads Greg Heiar, head coach, men's basketball. But as we know, this parking spot no longer belongs to head coach Greg Heiar. We broke it to you in the middle of ABC 7 at 5 that Chancellor Dan Arvizu made that decision earlier today, and about these sexual assault allegations that went on with the team and Greg Heiar's responsibility as head coach of this team. Now, we are told that Mario Mocha, the athletic director, was actually the one who informed Greg Heiar of that decision to terminate him from his spot here as the head coach of NMSU basketball. Now, I am told that while Mario Mocha's job as athletic director was discussed in those Board of Regents meetings today, his job is safe and he is still the athletic director of NMSU, and he will be at a news conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. discussing all of this, including head coach Greg Heiar's firing here from NMSU. Now, Chancellor Dan Arvizu sent a letter out to the community today within the last hour, which confirmed the firing of Greg Heiar. In that, he said he made that decision earlier today after learning of those hazing allegations. He went on to say, quote, "As I've stated previously, hazing has no place on our campus, and those found responsible will be held accountable for their actions, and committed to the safety and well-being of all members of our campus community, as well as to the integrity of our university. Through an expansive review and full investigation, we will work to ensure we fully understand what happened here and that those found responsible are held accountable. We will also ensure that support systems are in place to prevent this from happening again. Any further decisions regarding the remainder of the coaching staff will be made after additional investigations are concluded." End quote. Now, in regards to those other coaches, I was told that that decision will be coming soon, but don't expect it tomorrow. So right now, these hazing allegations have seen the entire program shut down for the rest of the season. Head coach Greg Heiar fired, 3 players leave the program, and new today, a 4-star recruit said that he wants to opt out of his letter of intent to come and play here at New Mexico State. Surely there will still be a lot more changes to come, and we, of course, will bring them to you as well as cover that press conference tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I do also want to tell you that I did reach out to head coach Greg Heiar. I tried calling him numerous times, not only earlier today, but then also after that firing did come down and his phone went straight to voicemail. But of course, as we learn new details, we will continue to update you. But for now, reporting live from the Pan American Center, Rachel Phillips, ABC 7.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And we'd like to remind you to download our KVIA News app to get breaking news alerts sent straight to your phone. We will cover tomorrow's news conference at 10 a.m. and we will stream it live on KVIA.com.
This was Heiar's first season in charge of the Aggies, and today we look back at how the now former coach got his first Division I opportunity. ABC 7 Sports Director Adrian Ochoa joining us live in the studio with a look back at how Heiar's tenure began not even a year ago. Adrian.
That's right, Eric. Nearly 1 year ago that Greg Heiar was introduced to Aggie Nation as the next head coach of the men's basketball program, a team coming off another victory in the NCAA tournament. A lot of promise for the season ahead under a new head coach, and one who had a connection to the previous head coach, Chris Jantz, who, remember, after last season took the job at Mississippi State. So there was a feeling that NMSU would pick things up where they left off, but just as quickly as Heiar's arrival to NMSU, he's now gone. Things on the court, though, didn't lead to success, though. He leaves NMSU with an overall record of 9-15, a team that was in last place of the WAC with a 2-10 conference record. But again, there was just so much promise with his hiring. He and Jantz coached together, and they were similar in their style of play. And prior to NMSU, he was successful at the junior college level at Northwest Florida State. He led that team to the Junior College National Championships. And this was Heiar's first head coaching job at the Division I level. And when you look back at his comments from his introductory news conference, you could tell he was just ecstatic to be here, but just what ended up happening, just unfortunate.
Passion, competitive. That's what I'm about. Energy, passion, competitiveness, and confidence. And ain't nothing gonna change. Aggie Nation, stand up. We're going to get this thing popping.
It's eerie to look back at those comments now. Just nearly a year now, Coach Heiar is gone from NMSU, being fired by Dan Arvizu, the chancellor at NMSU. Arvizu saying that decisions regarding the employment of the remaining coaching staff will be made after the investigations are concluded. We'll, of course, keep you posted, and we'll, of course, we'll be streaming that news conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. from NMSU. Stephanie?
Adrian, thank you. We have a timeline of Heiar's time with the Aggies. Heiar had been NMSU men's basketball head coach since March of 2022. Again, showing you video of his introduction at the news conference there. But even before the basketball season began in October, several NMSU basketball players were accused of being involved in this fight caught on camera during a football game against the University of New Mexico at the Pan Am in Las Cruces. And in November, Heiar had his first game leading NMSU. The Aggies won, but controversy followed just a few weeks later relating to that fight that we showed you that was caught on camera. Police say UNM student Brandon Travis was involved in that fight at the football game and wanted revenge against NMSU basketball player Mike Peak. Investigators say Travis and others attacked Peak at the UNM campus, hitting him with a bat and pointing a gun at him. All of that caught on this surveillance camera at the UNM campus dormitories. Peak tried to run away, and both he and Travis shot at each other. Travis died. Peak survived. Police say surveillance video captured 3 students arriving in a yellow Camaro to help Peak. Heiar and others were questioned by Albuquerque police. And aside from the shooting, there were other controversies. The NMSU players out during the shooting broke curfew. Peak brought a gun with him on the bus to the UNM campus. And after the shooting, Peak's gun ended up in a hotel with an assistant coach. Peak's cell phone ended up in Las Cruces with an NMSU administrator in Las Cruces, and Peak's tablet, which he had during the shooting, was on the team's bus.
There's no question that the cancellation of the remainder of the basketball season will come at a cost, even to those outside the university. ABC 7's Leiloba Ciciro looked at the financial implications of this suspension. She reports from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. Leiloba.
Yeah, Stephanie and Eric, you know, this is a team that made a lot of money for this institution, and that's not just only considering ticket sales that poured into Pan Am Center here behind me. I want you to take a look at this. According to NMSU's Equity and in Athletics report, the men's basketball team brought in $2.9 million from July of 2020 to June of 2021. We also know that the team still had 3 home games left, and according to the NMSU Athletics website, tickets for those games would have been between $10 and $30. And for season ticket holders, between $210 and $400. Now, the obvious question here is, if you paid for those season tickets, are you going to get your money back? We simply don't know. We reached out to the university to ask. We also wanted to get a sense of how much money we're talking in terms of those refunds. We don't know. We did not hear back. Now, you know, they're money makers here in the city of Las Cruces aren't just, like I said, ticket sales for Pan Am. It's also merchants who sell a lot of Aggie gear. We reached out to a lot of those people. And you know what? I have to tell you that when you're reaching out, trying to talk to a lot of these people, you really get the sense that, you know, this is something that's hitting the community really hard. Even for someone who's making money off of Aggie gear, they really didn't want to talk to us. A lot of them, the resounding word was sad. Sad. This is sad. The first person I spoke with said, I don't want to talk. The second person said, you know what, I just kind of want to wait and see how the dust settles. The third person I spoke with was a season ticket holder. She's been coming here to these games with her families, with her family, with her grandkids. It's something that they do together, brings them together as a family. She said, I'm heartbroken. She said, the university needs to tell us how they allowed this to happen in the first place. I asked, are you still going to support them? She said, I will, but they do have to build the team from the ground up. Reporting from the NMSU campus, I'm Leiloba Ciciro, ABC 7.
All right.